Just put a coin in to play again.
Do you guys not have the game?
We've got it.
What's the game?
You just lost the game.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Is it this kind of fucking thing again?
Yep.
Is it like you got it? Got what? Then you don't have it. This kind of thing again?
Yep.
No,
Oh, you son of a bitch! I hate that. I never get it.
the game is you're not allowed to think of the game.
I lost.
Cool. So, we all back now? Jericho and Mail.
I'm not here.
Yeah, I got food. Sorry.
Cool.
Is there
Oh, sorry.
anybody
Yeah.
in the streets?
So you guys are arriving fairly late in the day, because it's a full travel day plus like a little extra. So you're arriving pretty late in the day. Most of the houses that you guys have come across, like the farmhouses and stuff, have been all boarded up, or at least closed. And there appears to be some activity on the streets, but not a whole lot.
I
Not
grabbed
enough
someone.
for what should be. Do you ask them if they want to buy your gems?
No, I say, where is the jeweler?
Raka. Oh god.
What do you?
Jericho will try to intervene in this and get him to, put the person down.
I have picked him up.
Yeah, if you
Jericho,
pick- if you
sorry.
picked him up,
Raka, hands in your pockets.
Eh. Where's the jeweler?
So the person probably, like, as you put him down, maybe it's like an older human male, maybe like in his late 50s. He kind of stumbles and he backs up real quickly and he says, "You need to leave," and he hurries off down
Why?
down a street away from you.
You didn't answer my question.
What? I think he answered a different question, one that might be more immediately concerning.
My gems. Would you like to buy them?
Raka, I'm not sure anyone in this town is going to buy anything.
I fall to my knees.
Okay. Male, you definitely know of some inns and taverns around, but you guys can totally go searching for one. It won't be that big of a deal to find one.
Yeah, I probably just start mentioning as we're wandering around. Maybe we pass a bar. I'm like, oh, how do we remember this? And I tell a story of how I got in a bar fight with 3 hooligans and I beat them single-handedly. Just silly things like that.
Raka's normal
That
cheerful
sounds real
demeanor.
and not at all fake.
Raka's cheerful demeanor is drawn to his soul. His face is just grim at the thought of the fact that nobody will buy my gems.
Maybe if there's something going on here that's bad and we can protect them from it, they will be more interested in buying your gems.
Gems?
Yes, Raka.
Gems.
Alright, something has got them spooked.
Gems?
Where do we... I'm almost certain it's not gems. I think we need to...
Well, the best places for information is usually the inn. And it's late anyway.
The gems in?
Yes, Raka.
And there's also a multitude of taverns and inns that you could find.
Yeah, so do we want to split up and ask
Very
around
in
different
seedy.
places, or...
I don't think that me and you should ever be alone.
That's a fair point.
So, what's his name? Marcus. Marcus probably says something like, "We need to find what's going on here. Clearly, there's something amiss between the farmlands, the tunnels, what you know about this magic thing, and obviously the Knights of the Stag. We need to figure this out, but I do agree that perhaps we should rest one day and start fresh in the morning. I don't think anyone will
Marcus.
talk to us at this hour."
Marcus,
Yes.
do you think someone would buy my gems?
There's a very good likelihood that in this city you could find someone to buy gems. But it is perhaps not a priority for everyone here. There's clearly something amiss.
I'm sure we would follow Mayo's advice.
So you're gonna look for so male, the type of tavern that you're going to attempt to visit. What are we looking at here? Are we looking at something high class? Are we looking at something?
No, it's not
middle?
high class. I'll tell you that right now. It's
Are
not
we
high
looking
class
at,
at all. It's more of like it holds the rugged type of like people. Like maybe they're not like delinquents, like thugs or anything like that, but
So-
like it's probably like laborers and things like
So
that.
we're not going for seedy. We're going for like the local hangout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
local
the
hangout.
working man's.
the
The
worker man,
working man's tavern. Yeah. Absolutely. That's something that we can absolutely do.
farmers, things like that.
So yeah, you maybe you know of a place called the Leaping Goblet Inn, or the Leaping Goblet Hall, and it is it's run by a mistress,
Mhm.
and the mistress of the Leaping Goblet Hall, she's very much like the local, the local talk, or the locals go there because she treats them well. It's a very family oriented place.
Yeah.
It is located in the Talos, which is kind of like the slums almost of the area, but that's where most of like the daily laborers live. Um, you probably know anyone that's been around Talapheim. There's not a whole lot of crime in Talapheim. The main reason being, if you commit a crime in Talapheim and you're known for it, you can never escape. Like, you can never leave the city because you have to go through the Wizard's Way. It's the only way to travel. So a lot of people are just like, I don't want to live as a fugitive in this small 20-mile diameter circle for the rest of my life. So a lot of people just don't commit crimes. They just find another way to live. Which then in turn makes it the leadership of Talapheim is not rich. While they do garner a bunch of taxes, they have always like constant overpopulation problems. So a lot of these working men are probably like similar to they stand on a street corner and wait for somebody to come with a job, and then they'll go do it. Like, hey, I need 10 guys to go move this earth on my farm. And they'll hop in a wagon and they'll head out there, and they'll get paid for the day.
So like the dudes outside of Home Depot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it, but you know what, Raka, you went ahead and said it for me. I was trying to be politically correct. But yeah, it's very similar to that. It's very very similar to that, or like kind of how dock workers work, where seniority gets you the job. And if there's more work, then more people get to work that day. If there's less work, then people just kind of sit around and wait for, the next set of whatever to come in. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of money being thrown around in Talapheim. Additionally, because there's also not a whole lot of outside trade in Talapheim.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Not rich. No.
It's almost like he knew that Nabelheim would be almost a perfect place to sell expensive gems, or if they are expensive.
So yeah, Talapheim doesn't get a lot of outside trade from the exterior cities and trade routes. What they do all comes through Talagrad as well, because they are not connected in any way, shape, or form to the outside world except through Talagrad, which we all know has its own issues currently. So, you lead the party over to the Leaping Goblet Hall. And
Yep.
It's prime drinking hour when you guys arrive. It's like maybe 9
Damn
o'clock
sure.
at night.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Jericho, you recognize the sound of music coming from inside, but it seems to be not professional. It doesn't seem to be like a professional player is playing. It seems to be like it's like the difference between going to somewhere that has a live band and somewhere that has karaoke.
Right.
This is much more the karaoke, much less the live band. Even if the live band is kind of shitty, still, mildly
Okay.
better than
So
karaoke.
I can save these people, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You could probably save these people.
I'm still carrying Milo.
If Milo's
Does
okay
Mama
with it,
not
I
agree
don't
to
care.
any of this?
I mean, I think-
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I've just accepted my fate around Rucker. I'm the illusionist that gets carried around everywhere. It's
So, you all enter, and the outside sign is kind of hanging over the door, and it's a goblet with like human legs attached, and it's leaping over a fence. So like it's a little odd. Like it's not like that's a weird description of something to see, but hey, that's what
Yes,
they've
it
gone
is.
with. And it
It's
looks
the
like a
leaping
very
gauntlet.
yeah, it's a leaping goblet. It looks like a very old establishment. Probably been here for since the inception of Talabheim, maybe, which was hundreds of years ago. So you enter, and immediately you see, for those of you that may care, the largest congregation of people since you've entered the city. It's been pretty dead on the streets. You see the occasional like maybe there might be a beggar or two that you guys pass through once you enter the Talos, but throughout the Downs, the Manor District, the Guild Row, the Law District, you guys don't see a whole lot. Occasional guard will pass by, just kind of patrolling the streets, but yeah, it's been pretty dead. But inside here is probably like the first like legitimate human contact that you guys have had beside each other in the past 2 weeks.
What about the dude I picked up and yelled at?
I don't think that would be considered legitimate human contact. That's more forced human contact.
Okay. I yell out at the top. How's the mood here?
Roll me an insight check.
I'm actually good at these.
no, you're not.
Raka, I mean, you're still a little dazed from having been in the tunnels for so long. You're still a little bit dazed and unable to kind of discern what the mood in here is.
In that case, I yell out, "Hi!"
Okay. Yeah, it's a fairly large tavern. It's one singular room, and then it appears to have stairs that lead upstairs. Kind of in the centrally located. There is a large, what appears to be dance floor area, or like cleared away area where the tables are kind of pushed out of the way a little bit. A performance area, if you will. On the opposite side, there is a large fire kind of burning. But you notice that there's not a lot of people sitting around the fire. There's maybe like 10 people in here. A couple sitting at the bar, a couple at tables and booths. Of varying crafts, it looks like. One of them looks like definitely like a farmer that may just be here for a drink. Definitely a couple of laborers. There looks to be like maybe what might be like a hunter or something, because there is a forest that's located inside the crater that is prone to being hunted for game, for pelts, that kind of stuff. Maybe a trapper would be a better term for him. And then there's obviously the bar girls, and distinctly everybody that appears to be working in here is female. The woman behind the bar is she is, first of all, she's gorgeous, but she is very busty. It appears that if she wanted to, she could probably knock any of you out with her breasts by just swinging them around.
Even me?
Even you, Raka, you would not be able to succumb to her charms. And she's wearing this corset that is way too tight for her figure, which just enhances what's going on with her
Breasticles.
yeah. Her hips
Calamity, that is her memory.
her hips are wide. She's got childbearing hips. She also appears to be in her late 40s, maybe. She is human. She wears her dark brunette hair up in a very tight bun, very very streamed back. There's not a hair out of place that you guys can see. And her face is very warm and open, but her eyes are extremely shrewd, and have an intelligence behind them that would be maybe uncharacteristic of where she's working and what she does.
I walk up, still holding Milo, and sit down at the bar.
Okay.
So as like he's walking up, I'm like maybe like stop, Rocco. I just like kind of like nudge him like down to like bring his ear close to me,
Yeah.
and I just whisper, "Oi, be careful with that one. She looks like a mean cougar."
I
Okay.
got this.
And
I
just
got
pat
this.
him on the
Don't
back.
worry.
I just pat him on the back, and then like I have a smile. Like this may be like one of the first few times like I actually smiled, or you've seen of me like smiling.
Oh,
Oh,
I sit down, and then I set Milo down on the seat beside me. Then I look at her, I said, "Hey, pretty lady, one water, straight." And then I put down a gold coin.
Okay.
not on the rocks.
So so she kind of looks at you and her head cocks a little bit. What about the rest of you? What are I would assume Zetch and Marcus are probably going to follow Jericho's lead in this situation. So Jericho, what are you?
Well, I hope not. I don't think they know how to play musical instruments.
I
But
do.
do you though?
No.
Do you really?
I do. I have a certain
Actually-
talent.
I won't say it because I don't know if he's ever brought it up, but one of them actually does play a musical instrument.
Good for him. I don't want to.
Now you can tell, like there is somebody playing, or like
Yeah.
there's a couple people that are like taking turns. Jesus. There's a couple people that are like taking turns playing on this kind of
Okay.
crude, looks like a viola, but like very worn down. You can tell the strings haven't been oiled in years, so it's kind of more nails on chalkboard for you, but probably sounds okay to somebody who doesn't know the craft.
Okay, in that case, I will let Raka try to work his charms on the
Okay.
bar lady, and I will instead wander over in their direction and ask if I can join in on whatever the next.
I say to the lady, "Hey, you're not part of a thieves guild, are you? Because the last barmaid I talked to is part of a thieves guild, and I nearly died."
Yeah, so you order your water, and she brings it to you, and I assume that's when you say that. And she sets your water on the counter, and she looks at you. What do you do?
I say that,
Mhm.
and then I
Looking
look her,
at you.
and then I say, "How are you doing?"
Do you go to grab your water at all?
Yes. I gave her the gold coin.
So you go to grab your water, and her hand slams down on your wrist, and she's way stronger than she looks, Raka. Like her hand comes down and grips your wrist, and you've probably never had the feeling of like, hey, this person's strong before, because you've always been the strongest person you've ever known in your entire life. You probably get that feeling. You're like, damn, she could probably grab me across and pull me across this bar if she wanted to.
Oh, I
And
smile.
she goes, I am no lady. I am Madame Laroche.
What's that mean?
It is my name. Now,
Madame Wash.
the gold coin is too much.
Okay.
Bring your change.
Okay.
And she grabs the coin, and she goes back, and you see her pull out like a cash box, and she just opens it up on the bar. There's lots of glittery things in there. And she throws the gold coin in, and she pulls out some silver, and she brings you back 5 silver.
I say, that's cool. Hey, why is everybody so weird around here?
What do you mean? Everyone is weird.
What I mean is that I tried to talk to some dude. By the way, do you know where a jeweler is?
She raises an eyebrow, and she looks over at Milo, and she goes, is this one with you?
I'm
It's about
afraid
business,
he
buddy.
is.
It's a good thing he's drinking water.
So, is there a jeweler in town?
There are many craftsmen in town, yes. Always. But here at the Leaping Goblet, you will not find any. You will find room, which I assume is what you intended to pay for with your gold for a water.
Yes, Madame Varosh.
She goes, La Roche.
La Roche.
La Roche.
La Roche.
There you go. You got it.
Thank you. I'm having fun. What about you?
Who do you say that to, Milo?
No, I say that to Madame Varosh.
Okay. She goes. She kind of looks at you, and she clicks her teeth. She's just like, and she turns away and goes to serve more patrons at the bar.
I turned to Milo. I think I struck out.
You sure did, buddy. You sure did.
I thought I figured it out.
So, Mail, do you are you sitting at the bar with them, or Marcus and Zetch actually got a table, probably maybe like a corner table, because you guys are like super paranoid because who knows when a tree
I
is
actually
gonna
start
jump out of the
asking
ground and
around.
kill you guys.
You know, I look for familiar faces that maybe I've seen before when I've been to Talbheim, and if I see anyone that I've maybe not instantly oh yeah, this is Bob, I think that's Bob. I'm gonna go talk to him, type deal.
Sure. Roll me, man. I think I'm going to house rule something in, and I'll work out the details later. But I want a luck skill in this game.
Oh, D20.
Yeah, roll me a D20, and we'll see what happens. But I think that I'm going to house rule. Specific skills at some point to do that.
Is there a certain DC you want? What you can do is you set it to where I choose high or low, or even an odd, and if I roll one of those or any combination,
it would work just like your other ability checks.
Okay.
I'll set the DC, and it's going to be I'll determine the difficulty based on where you are and what you're trying for.
Yeah.
So I think that with an 18, that's pretty good. I think that you actually you do maybe you don't recognize the person.
Yeah.
But you do notice that one of those trappers. There's a table of two of them, and they're sitting there, and they got kind of their cloaks and stuff. And they're the only people in here that appear armed. Although you have no idea what Madame LaRoche might hide in her bustier, but probably a full assortment of medieval weaponry, up to and including a greatsword. But the trappers are the only people in here that appear to be. He would probably know who Madame LaRoche is, but I don't think Madame LaRoche isn't the type of person to get involved with other people.
Yeah. I'm more of I asked the other locals.
Although there's a pretty good chance Madame LaRoche recognizes Mail if he's ever been in here, or maybe you've only heard of this place. Maybe you never actually stayed here.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that I've heard the place and I don't know anyone specifically, but maybe I've seen people around town. I've asked them oh hey, do you know what this is and things like that. We have simple conversation. It's kind of that deal. You just. If you travel enough, you talk to people here and there, and some faces stick, some faces don't.
Sure. Yeah, but the trappers, they have a symbol on their, or they have a brooch actually. It's a brooch that fastens their cloaks, but they're kind of sitting off to the side so you can see them a little bit better.
Yep.
And they appear to be from a hunter's guild of some sort. And let's see, probably the name of this is going to be. Let's see here. I have some names listed here somewhere that I can use. Let's see. Not part of the menus. So you know that they belong to a particular sect called Tal's Chosen.
Okay.
Tal's Chosen are essentially individuals who... They're kind of like the militia. They basically patrol the outskirts of Talbheim, both inside and outside the crater, and kind of like the Citizens' Watch. Is essentially what they are. And you recognize that symbol on their cloaks, on the brooch on their cloaks.
Mm-hmm. So I walk over to them, and I just simply greet them. I'm like, "Oh, do you mind if I sit down with you?"
So as you walk up, you appear not to interrupt, but it looks like they kind of were like maybe at a lull in their discussion, and they were kind of like, but they were obviously discussing something significant because they were having like that long stare into their mugs of ale, where like they don't want to make eye contact with anyone, and you walk over and they kind of get jostled out of their stupor, and they say, "Oh yeah, have a seat."
Yeah, so I sit down with them, and essentially to speed up a conversation, I'm just going to ask them, like, have you heard any, like, what's the deal with this town? Like, what's with the Knights of Stag being here and controlling the Wizard's Way and things like that?
So you're being pretty direct about this.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
a male is being blunt. He's being as blunt as possible. Like, he's not bullshitting anyone. Like, he just gets straight to the point. He's not like, "Oh, how you doing?" No, it's like he has a feeling these guys know what's up, and he's just gonna straight up ask them.
All right, we'll get to that answer in just a second.
Sure.
We'll jump over to Jericho. So Jericho, are you gonna go up to the locals that appear to be playing on this viola and give them a lesson?
I don't know if I'm. He's probably not going to open with anything that presumptuous, more just asking if he can either join in with them or take a turn in the rotation if they're switching players around or anything like that.
Sure.
Hefty violin.
Yeah, I think that they say, well, anyone's welcome to play. If you want to use this, and they kind of hold out the viola, and you can see like the horsehair that's on like the bow. Is like all frayed and like coming off, and maybe it's not even like a full bow anymore. The strings are all like frayed, and they look like they're about to snap under any amount of pressure that you put them under. The wood is like almost rotted.
Oh, you're too kind, but I brought my own.
So they kind of shrug, and they just like continue going about their business. So, what do you do? They they leave the floor for you though, if it's if you want to.
Okay. Well, are they still playing or?
No, they take it with them.
Okay. I think I'll look to the crowd then and ask if anybody has any requests.
So there's not really a crowd. There's only maybe about 10 patrons in the inn. The guys that just left. They're sitting at like the edge of the ring, like waiting for their turn again, right?
Donna.
And they say, one of them probably says, "Do you know the twin-tailed comet, boy?"
Can I assume that I do?
It's pretty common in the Empire lands.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you would probably know it.
Cool. Then let's see if I can wow them.
Okay, cool. So roll me a performance check. It's not going to be hard compared to what these schmucks are used to.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So Jericho, it's also probably been a while since you played in earnest, right?
Well, apart from last night, but yeah.
Yeah.
What did we get? Oh, hot damn.
Yeah. So I think that Jericho, you busted out, and we have that moment of like, Jericho kind of gets lost a little bit in the song, and he's kind of like, you've got your eyes closed, and you're just going, what instrument are you playing for this?
The violin.
It can be played on basically anything. Okay, so the violin. So like you're going around to it, and you play a beautiful rendition, and you kind of like, you finish the song and your eyes kind of like open. You get, you come out of the moment, and the guys that are sitting around the dance floor area, they just have their mouths are just open, and like one of them is like his mug is like spilling beer onto the floor.
I'll just tip that upright again.
Yeah. So you just go and you lift his mug of ale, and he just like, he holds it upwards and he just sits it on the table, and one of the serving girls like comes over and like starts cleaning it up, and the guy who requested the song, he goes, that was the most beautiful rendition I've ever heard. Do you play for the elector counts? Why? What?
Well, I don't play for anyone in town yet. I only just got here.
What do you say? I'm sorry.
I don't play for anybody in town yet. I only just got here.
So he kind of looks. He's like, just got here, but where do you live, man? I've never heard that. I've never seen you before.
No, well, like I said, never been here before. I've spent most of my life up until now in Middenheim.
So, you are from Middenheim. Then you are. And he kind of like he goes to say something, and he like looks around, and like he looks at the bar, and like you can see Madame LaRoche just like looking at him, like, and she's like eye lasers, and he's just like, oh, well, this is good, yes, but I do not think that we can compete with that. Perhaps you should have a few more rounds, and we will all get drunker, and then perhaps be able to play as well, or at least pretend.
I'll be happy to give you a chance to loosen up.
Yeah, cool. So then I think we'll bounce back over to Raka. So Raka, or Raka and Milo, I guess, because you guys are the ones
Yeah.
taking it that far. What are you guys doing?
I asked Madame LaRoche a couple of questions.
Okay, so you catch her attention. She's not too busy, but you can tell like Milo and Raka, you guys can see like her body does things and her eyes are watching everything all the time. She doesn't miss anything that happens in the entire place. And like she's doing like these complex, like serving food and like pouring drinks perfectly without even looking at it. It's just pure muscle memory for her.
First off, you're awesome. Second of all, is there a temple to raise in here? In this town?
To Rice?
Yes.
There probably is. Basically, Telepine is big enough that any major deity could have a place of worship here. That's not inherently evil. So yeah. So I think she says, yes, the rice is here.
Do you know
What is
where?
it to you?
I want to be a follower.
That is a noble mission for one such as yourself.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I owe her.
We all owe the gods something, I guess.
Yeah. She gave me this, and I take out my chalice.
Her eyes, she doesn't really make eye contact with you when you're speaking. She's just automatically just spouting off words. But when you pull out the chalice, she looks at it. She's like, "He's obsidian, no?
Yes, I'm surprised you could tell.
Well, the weight that it leaves on the bar is much greater than that of a normal chalice."
You really are awesome.
Yes.
Second of
Where
all,
did you get it?
I found it. There was a statue. Over in what was the place called? Midden Moor. Jordan.
Stack?
That was it. Oh, we found it in a cave in Middlestag with a what was it called? Manticore, and it was being held by a statue of Reyes, and there was another one that was forged with the Ithamar technique.
Ah, the elves. Flighty folk.
I wouldn't know that. Never met one.
Be good that you don't. They don't even drink ale most of the time.
I don't either.
That's because you're special, Raka.
So special.
Also, is there a place I can buy healing potions?
She says, you'll have to check God's roll for both of your things, but in the morning.
Thank you very much, lady. You're awesome, strong, and knowledgeable. You don't need no man.
She goes, I know.
Does she smile?
No smile.
Does she look happy?
No, she just you say that, she's strong, knowledgeable, and she doesn't need no man, and she just like straight up just I know. No emotion on her face at all.
I lean over to Milo. I like her. I think she's into me.
Jericho explains how sex works to Raka, and suddenly he's trying to pick up in a bar.
I'm already one step there. She touched my hand.
Hey,
this lady would
if
probably
she's
break
so
her in half.
into you, then I think you should go right over there and try to kiss her. Just.
Jericho explained that to me. That doesn't happen till we get to bed.
That's. I
So
don't
you
think
know that
that's
seemingly
specified.
inconspicuous conversation you had with Raka that one time, Jericho? It probably just saved you all from getting beaten.
That's why it's important to tell me things.
Exactly. Cool. So then I think like as all of that's going on, we fade out from all those conversations and we fade back into Mail asking the guy like super blatantly like what's going on with the Knights of the Stag, and like the two guys sitting at the table, they look at each other and their eyes go wide and they say, "You're not one of them, right?"
Yeah.
I blanked out.
They say you're not with them. You're not with the guard, are you?
Oh fuck no! I had to say that pretty loudly.
And then I,
So
hell
they
yeah!
they relax a little bit, but they still look like super nervous and they're like looking around. And you notice that like whenever like their eyes are following the serving girls that are kind of moving through the tables. And once like all the serving girls have like are kind of out of earshot, one of them leans in and he says, "This is not the place to talk about that. Madame Laroche would have us shut out, and we would be sleeping on the street if no one else would take us at this hour."
I simply nod. I'm like, "Hi, I got you." Anyway, I just kind of like look back. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna need a pitcher or 3, maybe 4."
You see,
Yeah, I'm
Madame
feeling
LaRoche,
4 tonight.
Madame LaRoche was looking at you during this whole time, or maybe, who knows? Her eyes see everything.
Yep.
And she just nods, and she, like as you were asking for it, the pitcher comes out onto the bar, and one of the serving girls picks it up and like brings it over.
Raka stares in awe.
So like as like the first pitcher comes, I'm like, "Where's the other 3?"
So I think like maybe for the first time, Madame LaRoche like kind of looks and like she gets kind of that eyebrow raise and she goes, and quick as a lick she whips out 3 more pitchers and slams them down on the bar, and serving girls are carting them over to you.
Yeah, so I guess at that point, Mail just starts like making small talk with these guys, like
Sure.
just about anything really.
Yeah, and Mail, the pitchers of ale, they're strong. It's good. It's really good stuff coming out of here.
Yep, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm in for a night."
Yeah. For the price, it's really cheap, super
Yep.
cheap.
Why do you think I got 4 pitchers?
Absolutely.
Get my fill while I'm here.
So, do any of the rest of you do anything for?
I would like to challenge Madame LaRoche to an arm wrestling contest.
So you how do you approach that subject?
Madame LaRoche, you want to arm wrestle?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Maybe raise the stakes for her.
2 gold.
Not quite what I meant,
She
but
said. She looks and she goes, "I don't need your gold. Just
Okay.
don't want to hurt you."
You won't hurt me.
She laughs actually at that, and it's like her voice is like very like husky and like very deep. When she laughs, it sounds like a 14-year-old girl, and it's the most disconcerting thing you've ever heard come out of a woman her size.
My name is Raka
Like-
Coward Sarstala.
Like Jericho, with a 23 performance check, you might actually miss a note when she laughs. That's how like crazy.
it's okay. No one else is going to notice either.
Yeah, no one else will notice. Just you. You will know that you were distracted in that.
It's at that point that I introduce myself as Raka Coward Sarstala. And then I say, are you going to turn down a request from a coward?
And she goes,
If-
"You have giant blood, no?"
I might. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, you are clearly a Goliath.
How'd you know?
I know many things, Raka, coward.
How'd you know my name?
And she
Raka, you-
and she walks
Yeah.
off and continues to fill.
Wait, the arm wrestle. Damn, I didn't get a chance to show her my stuff.
You should definitely have tried offering her gems.
gems.
So,
Oh God.
yeah. When I got an opportunity, particularly if he's busy, shutting Raka down, Jericho's going to try talking to those guys who were silenced so quickly before and ask them what it is that Madame LaRoche doesn't like hearing people talk about in her bar.
Okay, so that was like the conversation with so the guys, so like you're gonna try and like the guys that were silenced by Madame LaRoche's stare of death.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So do you like do that like because the bar gets there's probably a fluctuating anywhere between 10 and 20 people. It's pretty popular for like the hour and the location.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's probably a time where you could like slip in edgewise and be like, hey, what's going on with that? Sure, no problem. So I kind of like maybe he's like sitting up against a wall on like a stool and was just kind of mesmerized by your performance, but your performance was great and it's better than anything they've ever heard before, but they also want to drink, so they're a little bit more sloshed by now, and probably not picking up on the subtleties of your glorious music. Um, but
Well, maybe that'll make them a little more willing to talk as well.
yeah, I think it might. So I am going to need a persuasion check for them.
Fair enough.
They are they're
Oh,
not
I
going to be super. It'll be easier though because you waited till a good time. You didn't
I
pressure
wonder
anybody.
if that +9 I have in persuasion is going to get me anything.
I mean, got you a 19. So yeah, the same guy. When you go up and you ask him, he smiles for the first time, and you see that he's got about 2 teeth in his head. And one of those is black, and he smiles at you, and he says, "Well, Madame LaRoche, she runs a tight ship. We're close to water, so you can imagine what I mean." I don't know what I mean, actually. So I think that well, how do I put this? Things they're tough in the city. There's no trade coming in. Well, never much before, but a man could at least buy things. But now there's nothing. The palace is shut up. Nobody's saying anything. There's no crops growing either. Fields are hot. They burn. Can't plant anything. They're too dry. They soak up the water. It's bad news. People think there is a plague about us.
I get the impression there's something wrong. I could feel out in the fields when we were coming into town that things were not as they should be. But
So
what,
he says to you, you were in the fields, but how did you come to Talabheim?
oh, by a very long road. But
He says, so yeah, he probably like you see him like kind of like shake his head, and he looks confused. He's like, and he's like half talking to himself, half talking to you, and he's like, we haven't seen any travelers in weeks, maybe even a month. I don't know. No one has come through the way. It's weird. Maybe you all can fly. Weird things have happened.
not quite fly. But thanks to a wizard friend, we did jump off a mountain earlier today.
And he goes, "Are you trying to write a song right now? It sounds like a song, you tell me."
It might well be at some other time. But I'm just curious what it is that makes you unwilling to talk about these things when Madame LaRoche is listening.
Oh, Madame LaRoche, she does not like such talk in her bar. It is her sanctuary, so it is ours. It's not good omen to talk about plague in the middle of the bar.
But all you were asking was where I was from.
Well, also, no travelers. I don't know. Madame LaRoche gave me the look.
Hmm.
Like I said, she runs a tight ship, and we don't even know her. We don't even have ships. He laughs at his own joke again.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Okay. Well, then I guess I'll just ask: isn't anybody trying to find out what's going on? What's causing all the problems in town?
He's like, it's beyond me. I just move stone and do the work. And he's kind of like slipping. You can tell, like slipping almost in unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I just do what the laborers do. You know, don't know anything about the plagues or travelers or goods. I just know what I know. Do know that Madame LaRoche, though, she shipped tight runs.
I think it might be time to take a break, friend.
Yeah, he fades into unconsciousness as he's sitting there talking to you.
Okay, then I suppose my next point is going to be trying to talk to Madame LaRoche. She seems like she's probably the only person in here who's going to have any kind of useful answer to give.
Okay. Cool. So I think that you're walking up there, and Raka is attempting to...
I gesticulate wildly.
Yes.
And then I ask Madame LaRoche a question. Madame LaRoche.
Yes, coward.
Yes. Why is the ground hot?
She goes, what?
When we walked through the farms, the ground was really, really hot. And last night there was like a huge plume of fire.
She just kind of says, you are in a bar.
Yes.
Perhaps you have had too much water.
You know I'm not that stupid, right?
She kind of like squints her eyebrows and is like, you can tell she's like quickly inspecting you for a flask or something because you're speaking nonsense.
You know my intelligence is 8, right? I could tell the difference between water and alcohol.
Oh yeah, no. She says maybe you've had too much water, but she said it in like a kind of sarcastic way, like maybe you're slipping something into the water.
Can I do an insight check on her?
Sure. What are you trying to determine?
I'm trying to determine if that like triggered any alarm bells, like if it like hit something, like she knew what I was talking about.
Sure. It's not gonna be easy. Madame LaRoche is a freaking brick wall. You rolled a 20 though. There was a moment you probably spotted that maybe she like glanced. She did like normally she doesn't make. Okay, so this is what it was. So normally she doesn't even look at you while you guys are talking. She's monitoring everything else in the bar. There was a brief moment where she like eye contacted you, like when you said about the ground, and then she went back to doing whatever she was doing. It was just like a split second. Like it may have been something, it may have been completely nothing.
Raka smiles and says, "Oh, so that means something."
Okay, so I think that's probably about the time that Jericho walks up.
And then I turn to Jericho. I'm like, "Hey, look, she knows something."
So as you approach Jericho, she goes, "You are the pretty one playing the music, yes?"
Thank you, and yes.
She goes, very well. It's on the house tonight, and she sets down a. What do you normally drink, Jericho?
Huh.
If you were to drink.
Yeah, fair question.
Normally a wine or ale, beer, cider.
I think he's gonna go cider.
Okay. She probably sets wine in front of you.
Fair enough. Classy.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to object offhand. Yeah, he'll give his thanks for
she nods.
The free round and say, I'll be looking for a place to perform as long as I'm in town.
Well, all are welcome at the...
Fantastic.
All are welcome here. As long as
Although,
you don't cause trouble and I have to throw you out.
Right, fair enough. What counts as trouble? I mean...
Anything I don't like?
Is there a list I can look at?
It is far too fast for you to consume in one 24 hours.
Fair enough. Now, listen, one thing that I've heard you don't like is people talking about the weird things that are going on in town, which is
Yeah.
fair.
So, the motion of like her body, like she's normally doing something always, stops, and she kind of just stops, and she puts both hands on the bar, on the back of the bar, and she like leans over a little bit and she looks at you. And Jericho, roll me a let's see, probably going to be a wisdom saving throw.
Awesome. Oh, that's...
She catches you looking down her shirt.
Okay, in my defense,
cannot help yourself.
In my defense, that is like 40% of what I can see right now.
It absolutely is, and it may it's either totally not on purpose by you or totally on purpose. Either way, you can tell that like you've seen the look before that women would give you, and she gives you the look and she goes, "You are correct. There is nothing bad going on in this tavern, therefore we do not talk about it."
Right. But if I knew some people who might want to improve things out there, get the local economy up and running again, who should they talk to make sure that none of that business gets into this place?
This is a job for the electors. I just run a tavern.
Right. Fantastic.
I whisper to Jericho, she knows something.
Again, I know many things. Is this one with you?
No, I don't. Not enough for her to hear, for once.
Right.
I think that's
once?
up to her.
Okay.
What?
Um,
She knows something specifically about the Hotlands.
she might, but I don't think we're going to get anything out of her right now. I think Jericho, having managed to critically fail to not scope her out, is going to go try to build up some goodwill again by returning to his performance.
Yeah. Also,
Probably.
Jericho, for a late 40s human female, they were perfect still. There was not a flaw at all.
Some people...
You're really giving off that MILF 5, aren't you?
Yeah. This lady could break any one of you. Maybe not Raka physically in half, probably.
Maybe still Raka.
Maybe still Raka.
I have a +7 to athletics. Bring it on.
Later, do you behold that she has a +10 with
Yeah,
advantage?
No. See, it's not necessarily strength that's going to get you. It's the Constitution.
Oh, fuck.
See, you might be able to go as strong, Raka, but you gotta last as long as well.
See,
Anyway.
if you can only pound it with the strength of a meteor for 3 seconds, it doesn't count.
I would like to try to persuade her to arm wrestle.
To arm wrestle?
Yes.
Sure. She's got a pretty high wisdom too.
Persuasion.
All right, roll a persuasion. It's not bad, but it's not great. She says no again. You say, basically how I think it goes down is you do the exact same thing you did before. You're like, hey, Madame LaRoche, let's arm wrestle. And she goes, no. Cool. So, Mail, did you have any more conversation with those trapper guys?
No, not here. No.
Okay, cool. So how late does everyone stay at the bar? Probably
Well,
by the time all
how
that
long
goes
does it take
down.
me to drink 4 pitchers of ale?
I'm not going to
Depends on
bed.
how fast you drink.
I'm not going to bed without Jericho. As weird as that sounds, but like I said,
I think
Rocco's-
you are, actually. I think that's the only way you're going to bed.
I think, yeah, well, I mean that in the sense that Rocco's not going to go to bed alone anymore.
Yeah,
Again,
so I assume at some
yes,
point all of you settle up with rooms and bunk mates or whatever, which
Yeah.
obviously, as you know, just kind of falls into the normal categories. There's no actual monetary in there. So yeah, so you guys do all that, and so yeah, how late do you guys stay? Do like Jericho? Do you close the place down, or do like at a certain point where you're like, man, I'm getting kind of tired. Maybe I should just go bunk up?
yeah.
Because probably around like midnight, 1 o'clock ish, it's pretty dead again. Most of the servant girls have gone home. Maybe there's one or two left over.
Oh yeah,
Maybe like
no. Around midnight, I think Jericho is going to figure that um, one, he's totally done his bardic duty for the night, and two, he's going to get to sleep in a bed for the first time in weeks.
yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be
And
great.
then you walk in and see Raka taking up the entire bed.
I think between the two of us, surely we have enough for 2 beds.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure we're not in the.
I'm sprawled out on both of them.
You could totally just have Madame LaRoche bring up another bed when Rock is asleep. Not a problem.
Might need to.
Cool. All right. So so about midnight. How about Milo and Mail? Mail, as far as how fast it takes you to drink like 5 pitchers or 4 pitchers, I mean, a couple hours probably at a good pace.
Yeah, a good steady pace would take him, a solid dwarf, a couple hours to drink those.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty toasty.
Yep. So when he starts feeling toasty, he's like, it's time to get a good rest and on a bed for once.
Cool.
So that's what he does.
Cool.
He looks for the others and he's like, just gets a room, whatever. And
Zetch and Marcus turning in early. Like 10 o'clock. They're asleep. Milo, are you going up with Rocker or do you leave early?
No, I'd be in early. I've just had a couple of half pints, but then gone off to bed.
So maybe you see Zetch and Marcus like rolling up, and you're like, oh yeah, sleep, bed,
yes,
good. All right. So sounds like the last one out is probably going to be Jericho. So Jericho, you're packing your things up. There's like 2 or 3 patrons left in the bar. And there's like one servant girl, and she's kind of like lazily, like just like, wiping a rag down on the bar, like kind of bored looking. Madame LaRoche still is going full speed. Everything's getting cleaned and like everything. She's still watching everything going on. There's just less to watch now, so she lingers more on different people. And once the patrons kind of file out, and you're maybe like you're on your way up to your room. Madame LaRoche comes over to like the end where the stairs are, and she goes, "You, Jericho, right?"
You looking for me? Right.
Yes. Now that there are no more eyes or ears in here, I should tell you, it will not be easy what you intend to do.
How do you know what I intend to do? What do you think I intend to do?
I have eyes and ears of my own. Between what all of your friends were saying about the
well, I mean,
that you have entered the city recently, which need I remind you is impossible since the Knights of the Stag hold the pass.
Well, we did have some encounters with them. It's true.
So is the pass open?
That's a strong word for it.
Hmm.
No, I'm going to say no on that one.
It is just we do not see travelers. I've not seen travelers in a month. It is strange to find 6 all at once.
Well, I think if there had been any less than 6, we wouldn't have made it through.
She raises her eyebrow and she says, "Yes, indeed. Just take care with how you and your friends go about this place. There are people that are less accommodating than me."
I don't doubt it. If there's something that you can tell us that might improve our chances of not dying, that would be wonderful.
Don't do anything. But I doubt that is your style, is it not?
Well, yes, that's not really the kind of advice I was looking for.
It is sound advice nonetheless.
Well, unless you want this town to burn and starve, someone's going to have to do something.
Again, I run a tavern. I have plenty of supply for minimum.
I'm not asking you to get involved. I'm just saying we have some very inventive and dedicated people. Is a particular direction you think we should be heading in?
Again,
We should keep an eye out for.
the electors no more. I'm just here for the common folk. I do not want to be involved with whatever they have going on, because I believe this is their doing.
Well, thanks for that. Yes, Raka, I'm talking about you.
So she
From
nods and
upstairs
goes
you
back
hear.
to,
I thought so.
cleaning and everything. So you head upstairs and you go to sleep, and everybody sleeps for the night.
Hopefully.
Cool. Yeah, nothing happens. Somebody would be a fool to mess with Madame LaRoche's place. But yeah,
Even
you
the
guys wake up in the
undead.
morning. You guys, she would just kill them all. You guys wake up in the morning after sleeping in a bed for the first time in weeks. How does that feel for everybody?
Awesome. Let's go to God's Road. And then I pick up Jericho.
What?
We need to figure out this curse shit.
I don't think that's our... Well, okay, which curse are you talking about? There are a lot of them.
We need to figure out the curse shit with the lands, the curse shit with us. I also want to become a follower of Ray's.
Interesting choice.
Well, she's awesome. She gave me this. Da 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 da, and I take out the chalice.
We're still not sure that that's not part of one of the curses, are we?
No, you're not. You're not sure that that's not actually what ties you two together, because you both have one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Also, I want healing potions and to sell my jewels. And my gems. And my gems. And my gems. And my gems. And my gems.
So you guys
Calm.
having this conversation
James!
like over breakfast down in like
Deep
the
breaths,
common room?
Raka.
Yeah, and then I see Madame LaRoche. I'm like, hi, Madame LaRoche.
Yeah, Madame LaRoche is there before any of you even wake up, and she looks like, exactly like she did when you left her the night before.
You look exactly like you did the night before.
The only thing different is she's wearing a different corset.
Except for the corset.
Instead of black this time, it is like a dark, like maroon red.
I say exactly what you said.
She goes, "You are observant, madame."
Yeah. Let's arm wrestle. No. But yeah.
So you guys are having this conversation over breakfast. I assume all of you have congregated.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So the deal is you want to go to God's Row. God's Row is where you will find all of the worship centers and possibly clerics, paladins.
There's shops too.
Maybe a
right?
holy order. Yeah, there's probably a few shops, but
Jewelers?
dedicated to like holy symbols and stuff like that.
Jewelers?
Probably not in God's Row, but the Guild Row or the Merchant District might have what you need.
Oh shit! Why did we stay there?
Because you wanted to find a specific type of place.
Oh yeah.
And also you came in at like 9 at night, so you wouldn't have found anything open.
I walked at that dude's place in Middenheim like at 12 at night. Didn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, so should we go to God's Row or Merchant?
I think he's asking the party, not me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're the only one that actually wants to go to God's District.
Actually, I want to
Well,
go to Merchant's District, thank
I
God.
think at that point, like, Marcus would raise his hand. He says, "Well, if we're trying to find out what's plaguing this land, God's Row seems the best bet."
Also,
The
I
DD
want
will
to
surely tell us.
and then I asked Madam Roach, is Merchant's District on the way to God's?
Yeah, are you looking at the map? You could totally, like, Merchant District just north of the Talos where you're staying.
Yeah.
And God's Row is just to the east of that.
Oh, sweet. So we can go through the Merchant's District to get to the Gods.
Yeah.
Awesome, let's do that. I need to find a jeweler.
You guys can go any order that you want. But what is everybody else's input on this?
What is the
I think-
input at the moment? Go to God's Row and merchants sector. Bleh.
Yeah.
I mean,
First
Mel doesn't really care. I mean,
First merchants, then gods.
you know, he knows that he can talk with the two trackers if he ever spots them within the city again, and he'll find out details there. So if he does, then he'll talk with them. But otherwise, you know, he's just gonna kind of like let the others do some of their own investigating.
Cool. So, so you guys are gonna travel through the merchant district. You guys finish your breakfast. It's delicious, obviously.
Thank you,
guys
Madame
travel-
LaRouche.
She just grunts.
I'll wear her down.
You'll get there, Raka. Don't worry. So you guys head out to Merchant District. Merchant District is, I mean, it's fairly dead, and there's no like trade coming in, right? In fact, from the Merchant District, you can actually see the main road that kind of runs down the middle of it. If you look towards the west, where the Wizard's Way is, you can actually see there appears to be in the distance barricades set up to prevent anything from coming down the Wizard's Way.
I run to a jeweler's.
Sure, Raka. Roll me an investigation check.
No. I grab Jericho.
What? What? Why am I being dragged along?
Help me find it.
Help!
So you roll an 18, which is pretty good. I think you probably do find a jewel crafter.
I go in.
Okay. So you go in. It's an older gentleman, maybe in his early 50s, and he says, "Well, what can I do for you?"
I'm here. Would you like to buy my gems?
Well, let me see him.
I take them out. Take them out.
Okay. You throw them all down on the counter.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he picks them up and he's like inspecting them. He's,
There's 9 large sapphires, cut medium, and 6 small rubies uncut.
Yeah, I was
The
just flying.
finest
when I
counterfeits
told you,
he's
I
ever
forgot
seen.
How many there were. So yeah, he's like looking at him with his little eyeglass thing, and he does a little like zoom in, zoom out. He pulls out this little hammer and chisel, and he goes to the rubies, and you see him like, ting, 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 ting. He's looking at them. He holds them up to the light, and this is a very like arduous process that he's going through. But he says, "So, what were you looking to get for these?"
Money.
He goes, "Yes, but how much?"
A lot.
Define a lot.
The whole thing.
Would Raka know the average going price of these, being a guild artisan?
I mean, yeah, you would know that the sapphires are probably a little bit, more expensive. You know that retail on one of these sapphires might be like 25 gold.
Okay, so they're
Retail on the uncut rubies probably is like 10 gold because they still have to be crafted. But you also know that he's probably not going to offer you that much because he's got to make money off of it too, right?
160 gold for the sapphires, and 20 gold for the 25 gold for the rubies.
So you just like say it. So he kind of looks.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit shocked because he's like, I wonder how, he knew that kind of stuff. And he says, that's 180 total. How about this? I'll do 150 for the lot.
165.
He kind of like scratches his head. He goes, how about I do 150 and I'll make one into a necklace for you.
Which one? The rubies or the sapphire?
Well, the sapphires. I just
Deal.
have to set them. Okay. So he pulls out a sack of coins. He counts them out one at a time. Tink,
Is anybody
what
with me?
afternoon?
tink,
What?
tink, tink,
Oh god.
tink,
I'll be right back, Raka. I have to go grow a beard.
tink.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, and Raka, even you could follow him counting out 150. He counts them out, and then he pulls out a bag, and he opens up the empty bag, and he puts them in one at a time.
Oh my god.
Tink,
I'll wait patiently.
tink, tink, tink.
Then not so patiently be like, it's okay, I trust you. You can just dump the rest in.
He goes, count twice. That will suffice.
I've learned something today. Then I get on my knees and watch and wrapped. Aw.
Oh my god.
Tink, tink.
So
Finally, he finishes
is there
150.
anything like on display in this place that's particularly impressive?
I mean, he seems to be a pretty good craftsman. There's like ladies' jewels and rings of varying sizes and carats and other things, but nothing like, jumps out at you. It looks pretty atypical.
Okay.
So then, after he counts out his 150 back into the bag, he hands it to you, Raka, and he says, "One moment." And he goes in the back and he brings out this box, and he opens it up, and it's got like a felt interior or like a pillowed interior, and it's got a silver chain and a gold chain in it. And they both have settings for stone about the same size as what the sapphires are. And he says, "Which one would you like?"
Gold, please.
So he pulls out the gold one, and now he goes to work like.
Wait, hold on. What color is Ray's?
What do you mean, what color is rice?
Does she have a specific color?
No, not particularly.
Okay, then gold.
So yeah, and now the manual dexterity of this man probably is quite abnormal, because as he goes to work, he folds the metal gold in perfect ways, and he gets the setting just right on the first time. And he's got that little hammer out again. And he's just getting at the edges, and then he pulls out this this cloth, and he puts this this goopy substance on it, and he begins to polish the gold and the sapphire, and altogether. Him setting the stone in the necklace takes less time than him counting out the gold pieces.
I look at him and say, "That was cool."
And he goes, "Yes, learn a craft. It will help you in the long run."
I'm actually a blacksmith.
That is good. And he finishes it up and he hands it to you.
I put it on.
Okay.
I imagine he might have adjusted it so that I could wear it.
Yeah. Oh no, it fits you perfectly.
Awesome. Then I'm like, "Thank you for your business, sir." And I walk out.
Cool. Anyone else do anything in the merchant district while you're here?
Oh, wait, can I ask him one more thing real quick?
Sure.
I'd like to show him the, sorry guys, the, crystalline spines. See if he knows what those are.
Yeah, so you pull him out, he's like, "Well, these look like spines or something from an animal. I can't do anything with these."
Okay, bye.
So I assume that the rest of you, Mail, Milo, and Zetch and Marcus, you guys are all kind of standing outside, or in the alleyway or whatever. Maybe Mail, you're puffing your pipe or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Mail, this group of children runs by and they knock into you, and maybe you spill some of your pipe over, and one of them drops like a scroll out of his pouch, and they all say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they run off. But you see this scroll sitting.
Yeah, I pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. What do you do with it?
Well, I like if the kids like run off and like run around a corner too quickly for me like to chase after them,
They look like
then
they're
I
just
just
running down the road. Like you
I
can
kind of
probably
like
call out to them still for sure.
yeah. Then I do that. Then I call out to the kids. I'm like, "Oi, wait, lads! You dropped this." And I hold out
The
the
one
skull.
in the back turns around, and he looks at you, and he shakes his head no, and then they keep running off.
I kind of just like like kind of take it in, and then like maybe it clicks with me that maybe this was meant for me, and he starts unraveling the scroll and he
Sure.
like just starts walking with the others.
It is sealed with wax, and the wax seal has that symbol of the Tao's chosen on it.
So
So you
yeah,
open it up.
It clicks then.
Yeah, and it is from the those two guys last night. We'll call them. One of them was named John, and the other one was named
Bob.
No, I was gonna say Malachi. John
Okay.
Malachi. This one's from Malachi. This letter's from Malachi. And it has it says to meet him, over in the law district, at like noon, so you guys can talk.
Yeah. So like I mentioned to the others that like I'm gonna meet someone within that certain district around noonish. Meanwhile, you guys do your own thing. We'll meet back up at the Tavern of Sorts.
I ask Mel, you sure you don't want some backup?
Mel just kind of smiles and is like, "Oi, fucking beastie's gonna kill me. You think people can?"
True that.
Just start walking off.
True that. And I fist bump the air.
Because
So the
Mel
rest of
is
you head off
actually
to
one of the only people who didn't go down the
True.
tunnels.
So the rest of you head off to God's Row, and Mail's going to head off to the law district.
I would like to find a Temple of Rays.
You can absolutely. It's not a temple. It's not very large. It's more like a house converted into a temple. Almost like if you see like nowadays, like in downtown areas where houses are converted into businesses. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, hey, no one really lives here anymore, so we're gonna make this a temple, but we don't want to tear it down and rebuild.
I go in and then I find the nearest person and go, I'd like to become a follower of Rays. How do I do that?
So there's a woman in there, and she says, "Oh well, it is good to see you, child.
Yeah,
You say you would like to follow Race?"
Yeah, she's bitching.
Says, "Well, I don't know if I would use that terminology myself, but
Kick ass.
you are welcome to you're welcome to come here. Raya is the goddess of life and fertility."
That's right. And she gave me this, and I take out my chalice.
Okay.
Ha ha!
So she inspects the chalice and she says, "This is very nice craftsmanship."
Thank you.
You say that Raya gave this to you.
There was a statue in Morganshire.
Midstag.
Midstag. And there was a statue of her, and she had one made of obsidian and one forged with Ithlamar and silver.
Oh, that is, she does give us our gifts in mysterious ways.
Yeah, it was pretty pimptastic.
Well, we can show you some things if you would like.
Bitchin'.
Okay. So she's planning on like taking you around and like telling you stories about Raya and how, why worship Raya over the other gods, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm just like, you already struck oil, sweetie. Stop drilling.
It's kind of like an initiation thing, maybe, that you get.
Okay.
But yeah, like you don't know the stories of Raya like too much, right?
No, not at
You're
all.
the primary god, so that's probably what you guys talk about. So the rest of you, while Raka's getting this done, what do you do?
I think I would take this time to kind of go off on my own to see if I can find a house of the Gold Order.
Gold Order. There might be a Gold Order house here. Let me see. Let's see. So you've never been to Salapheim, and no one's ever told you that there's a gold order house here, but you can totally go try and find it. But you don't know of one specifically that you can just like go to.
No, that's fine.
Cool. Marcus probably mentions to, if anyone doesn't have anything else going, he says, perhaps you should find the Temple of Sigmar and ask them if they know what is going on with the strange occurrences and possible plague, I guess.
Sigmar.
Yes, he is the one true god.
Well, if I leave you to go to Sigmar Jericho, and
Zetch just kind of like shrugs his shoulders. He doesn't know what's going on. But Marcus is going to go to Temple Sigmar, whether or not anyone else comes with him or not, to see if he can figure it out. Because, he was the one that was, like, brain affected by the thing. So, he's definitely going to try and reach out to his god a little bit there. If anybody wants to go with him, they can. If not, if you guys have anything else to do, before I jump over to Mail and what he's going to do.
I'd like to buy a holy symbol.
A Raya? Yeah, we can probably work that out.
A ring, preferably.
A ring your size?
Yeah.
Your fat stubby fingers.
I'm a good friend with the jeweler.
Yeah,
Salsa
they could probably
trolls.
find something for you. It'd probably be like 5 gold.
Yeah. Okay, I'll pay it.
Cool. Awesome. So, Mail, you go to the designated meeting place in the Law District.
Yep.
And it leads you to a house that is kind of placed in there. It looks the law district's very militaristic. Obviously, it's where all the the knightly orders reside. It's where the Elector Count's bodyguards reside, that kind of stuff. It's also where the Tal's Chosen reside. So you roll up in there, and he tells you to enter the door, and you enter, and there appears to be a few individuals kind of in the grand opening area.
Yep.
And they greet you, and they say, well, the first thing we need to ask you is, how did you come to arrive at Salapheim?
Yeah, so I was like, I myself shut the door behind me and kind of stepped in a little bit more. I just kind of motioned towards my crossbow. Do you know anything about the tunnels?
They look around and they all look dumbfounded, and they're like, no, what tunnels do you speak of?
There's tunnels. Tunnels leading outside into the city.
This is the first we're hearing of them.
The tunnels are large. One of many. The one we went was near, can't even think of it. Was it towards the southern end?
Talongrad.
You entered on the western side, and you came out on the eastern side.
Yeah, so I explained that to them, that we went into a western tunnel.
Was there only one path, or what is it? Was it the catacomb?
Mail just kind of takes a deep breath, and he's like, it's a network.
This is concerning. You say that there were things down there.
In the decades I've spent up here on the surface, not in my homeland, I've seen quite a bit down in those tunnels for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, you say? It's a long time. They ask you about the kinds of things that you saw down there?
Yeah, I explained,
do you hold any information back?
I think I would mention, the most, noteworthy ones,
Sure.
The hook horror and the...
With the quaggoths?
Mouth thing?
Yep, the tentacle ones, and...
The quaggoths?
I think I'd mention them, and I'd be like, mind yourselves with them. You run into them, you're gonna run into dark elves, but it's kind of a given. And you know, yeah. Essentially, I just like I start with like the most mentionable ones, and as like the talk continues and continues, it's just eventually me spilling everything about those tunnels.
Sure. And I think that like probably like halfway through,
Yep.
you know, you're getting to the point where you're just talking, and they're just attentively listening, and the door opens like behind you, and they all like jump to their feet out of their chairs, and a man, human, probably male, or not male, definitely male, probably about maybe 6 foot tall, pretty imposing figure, steps out or steps into the doorway, and he says, "So, is this the one?"
I kind of raise an eyebrow, and I'm like,
"Renaud, this
"What
is
or
the
what?"
one you talked about last night. The one who has these stories."
And I kind
You
of like
see-
look over.
you recognize, or like the guy who initially asked you the question. He nods and he says, "Yes, sir, that's him. He's been telling us some very concerning things. Perhaps you should join us." He says, "Oh, very well. Are we drinking? No? Okay, it's fine." And he takes a seat, and you continue on your traffic. You get the impression that this guy obviously is in charge of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got that like nonchalant, kind of shrug my shoulders, not care about anything. But also you can tell he's absorbing all the information that you're telling him.
Yep.
That kind of a.
When I
feeling.
tell him, I try to make it more condensed than the first time I said it because I'm probably getting tired of saying it over and over again.
Sure. Yeah. And he seems to ask odd questions too. Like when you get to certain points, he'll ask a question that doesn't seem relative to anything you had said at all. But you just like kind of like answer it anyway, and he just nods. He's like, "Oh, very well, cool, very good."
Yeah. So, finish the blur speech, and when I stop talking, now I'm like, so I have a feeling you're in charge then.
Yes, it is me. I am in charge of the house chosen.
What are you going to do about this?
It's not what I am going to do. It's what we are going to do. My friend, there's clearly no one that knows this any better than anyone else. I ask, would you accompany me, perhaps, to see the elector count? It is obvious we must do something about these tunnels. Perhaps it is what the cause of all of the rest of our problems are.
Male strokes his beard and, probably puts a little bit more tobacco in his pipe. He simply nods. He's like, I think it's the best thing for this town.
He says, good. No, you said you have friends here, yes?
I send a messenger of sorts.
He's like, oh, they're welcome to come too. Perhaps we can all join in on this seemingly inconspicuous.
Male chuckles at that, and he's like, the others are not as keen on going back down in the tunnels. I'm not keen on going back down, but if I have to, and from the looks of it, to solve some problems, it might need to.
Yes, I think that the tunnels may be the source of what is going on, and what you have said and what I already know. Well, maybe we have a problem.
Male kind of chuckles when he says maybe. He's like, maybe.
Yes. But not a problem that steel and crossbow cannot fix, yes?
And he kind of just nods, and he's like, I never met one yet.
I think you and I are going to get along swimmingly, Mel. Come. We drink and then we go to elector count.
Yep, so he nods, and he's like, sounds good, laddie.
So he pulls out a flask that he's had at his hip the whole time. He takes a swig and he hands it to you.
I take the flask, and I'm just like sniff it a little bit to see like what type of.
I feel like your nose hairs are burning.
And I'm just like, oh, so you like the strong stuff, and I drink the whole thing.
Yeah, you just drain it. He goes,
yep.
As do you. We will make great friends. And he grabs it back, and you guys head off.
Yep.
Cool.
To the wild blue yonder.
So, Mail, are you gonna let how are you gonna let your friends know that you're going off to the electric council? Are you gonna send them a message, or like find them first?
Find
Because
them.
by this time they'd probably be back at the tavern.
Yeah. Then
I'd
I
like
would
to-
say we'll I have a pretty good idea of where they're at, so instead start heading towards the tavern.
And so you guys finish your trip. You get your stuff. Marcus comes back from the Temple of Sigmar, and he's has a look of concern on his face, and he says, "Well, I spoke with some of my brothers. It is clear to me that we need to figure out what has caused this turmoil inside of me and end it. Preferably with the flat of my hammer."
I would like to say that I've been accepted into Ray's loving arms, and I'm wearing robes right now.
Okay. So yeah, you guys go to pick up Raka after
Ew,
you.
I watched the
all
whole
your
thing.
Excursion. Raka's wearing these pure white robes. If he
What?
had hair, it would have been shaven off.
I have robes. I have a ring. Yay, blessed be ye.
Just remember, Raka, life and fertility.
Fertility. I'm not good at that part yet.
I'm sure you're working on it.
I say to Madame LaRouche, I have accepted Ray's into my heart.
So you say, "I've accepted Raya into my heart," and she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, that is nice."
Yeah, it's awesome. You want to arm wrestle?
No. So yeah, Mail, you get back to the tavern where the rest of them are sitting having their lunch.
And am I being like
You're
with?
flanked by this 6-foot, very Russian-looking individual.
Blessed be ye, male.
I just kind of look at Raka like fucking confused as all hell, and I look at the big dude like behind me, and I'm like, "Oi, make sure you don't get this one." And I just look back, and I'm like, "Where are the others? Are they like sitting there, or are they
Assuming
like
they're all
coming back?"
in the bar or in
Yeah.
their rooms, or they're available.
I just simply look at the others, and I'm like, "I need you to come with me and my new friend."
Let's do this.
Sorry, what new friend?
Oi, this one. And like I point to the big Russian dude that's like 6 feet tall behind me.
I would like to stand up to him and shake his hand and go, Blessed be ye. In the name of Rayas.
He instead of shaking your hand, he grabs like the inside of your elbow and shakes.
Have
that
you
part.
accepted Rayas into your heart?
Like he grabs your
I
forearm.
don't think that's how they do this, Raka.
He goes,
You'll be forgiven
Raya.
of your sins.
Whoops, I was muted. Instead of shaking your hand, he like grabs your forearm instead, and he shakes that like once, like one big like shake, and he says, "Ha, Raya, ha, stay away from those girls. They will get pregnant and then make you pay for everything."
They're pretty awesome, huh?
Yes, well, if that's what you think, I do not need any brats running around. I like
To
my
be
own-
honest, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by pregnant, but I'll take your word that it's awesome.
it is not awesome. It is
It's
So, yeah.
totally awesome.
So like as this conversation's like going on between the two big burly men, I just look over at Jericho. I'm like, Jericho, we're going to see the Elector Count.
Now that I'm interested in.
Just I think it's time we told them.
So, I think that probably at that moment, you guys hear from behind the bar, "Hey, you!" And it's Madame LaRoche calling out, and she's looking dead at the big 6-foot something Russian dude. And he goes, "Oh, I did not know this was Madame LaRoche's face."
Yeah, she's awesome.
Madame LaRoche actually like barrel rolls over the bar and comes running at the Russian dude with this like rolling pin in her hand. And he goes, "I must go now." And he turns around and he just starts booking it out the door. And you see like Raka, I don't know how you guys react to this, but Raka, you're probably like standing there like talking to him, and he just runs away, and you see a rolling pin just like go by your face in slow motion, and just nail him right in the back of the head, and he just like tumbles outside the door, and he just tumbles, ducks and rolls, and he rolls outside the door, and skids, and he gets up and he says, "I miss you, Madame Laroche. I will see you later. Thank you." And he continues to walk. He gets up, he dusts himself off, and he walks down the street.
I clap and say, "That was hilarious."
And she goes, "Don't ever bring that trash in my bar again." And she goes back behind the bar.
Okay. Hey, Madame LaRoche.
Jericho still, and he's like, "So we're heading to the electors count."
Madame LaRoche, real quick.
Let's.
She goes, "No, I will not arm wrestle you."
Ah.
Yeah, I think we want to not stick around here any longer.
Let's go to the Electoral College.
Basically, yes.
Yep.
It's like medieval electoral college that only consists of 5 people.
Yep.
So not at all the Electoral College.
Efficient.
Right. Yeah. We don't need 1,237 delegates. We have 5.
I'm all for this. Hi, Zetch.
Hi, Will.
Hey,
Okay,
girl.
fine. I didn't want to talk to you anyway. H. Cool. So you guys are headed off to the to the Elector Count's palace, essentially.
Yeah.
You guys see his name is Sergey, by the way. You guys see Sergey, the big, tall Russian guy. He's kind of like rubbing the back of his head. He's like, "The damn woman, she has good arm.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She has even better face, though, let me tell you."
I just raised an eyebrow, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't think I need to hear your little story."
"Oh, it is legend, though, let me tell you." And he continues to tell you anyway.
So I chuckle as he starts saying it anyways.
And so yeah, he leads you to the palace gates, which are closed and locked, and there are 2 guards sitting outside. And he
I
walks
bless
up.
each one of them.
Okay. He walks up and he goes, "Hey, you, is it Drayden, right? Get the fuck out of my way. I need to go see the Elector Count." And you can tell that the guard is like looking, and he's like, "What the hell?" He doesn't recognize who this guy is. And he goes, "No, really, get the fuck out of the way so I can go see. Move, open the gates. Let's go. Come on, I am tired of this." And the guy in like the gatehouse, he goes, "Oh, Sergey, Jesus, why didn't you just say so?" All right, and he starts cranking open the gates, and you guys enter in. You guys enter in, and in the courtyard, this big, like, kind of large courtyard, and there's nobody in it, save for 2 people. There is a tall, elven figure, male, who is gorgeous, as pretty can be, and he's wielding a longsword in one hand, and he's bedecked with very expensive, fine clothing. He's wearing very expensive jewelry. He's got rings on almost all of his hands. He's got necklaces that hang down. On his back, however, is a great sword. And Rocket, even from this distance, you can tell that this sword is made of the finest quality. And it is strapped to his back. On the hilt of it, it has this bird. These wings come out from the hilt, and it's in the shape of a bird with its wings out. And it's all wrought in gold. And then obviously the handle comes out, and it's inlaid with this really nice worn leather and such. So you also see another figure. It is a younger female human, and the two appear to be sparring. They're kind of dancing back and forth. It's immediately clear that the elven figure is extremely capable. Um, just at a glance, you can tell that they're extremely capable individuals. And so you guys enter into the palace, and you guys are walking through the halls, and all you can see are guards. There are some peasant or not peasants, some servants and stuff, kind of moseying through, carrying various bits of food and laundry and that kind of stuff. Your normal kind of palace grounds feel. So you guys enter into what can only be described as a throne room, but instead of having like a throne in the back, it actually has like a desk, and sitting at that desk is somewhat of a older man. He has a goatee. His hair probably used to be dark, but now it's going mostly gray. His goatee is got gray wings in it. He looks like a fighter. He looks like, in another life maybe he was a fighter. Do you want to play that out, Raka, as you're walking into this place?
Can I see that elf dude later?
And Sergey goes, "Oh, him?
Yeah.
He does not like people."
No, but I like a sword.
"Yes, and he'll probably kill you with sword. He'll probably kill us all with sword. He's good with sword. That's what I'm trying to say."
But I want to see that sword.
"Yes, well, he keeps it. I've never even seen him draw it. He's a silly man. He says sword only drawn when intent to kill. That's the only thing for sword for him."
Oh.
So, are there any songs about him? Because if not, I think I'm going to write some.
So he probably chuckles and he goes, "Oh, that is the one where he fucked the queen of the elves, if you want that one, but I would not play it in front of him. He'd probably cut your head off."
No, fair point.
He sounds like a true follower of Raya.
"Yes, perhaps, but the elves have their own gods, dummy."
All is okay in front of Raya.
Yes, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So also, as you're walking through, Mail, Sergey's like chatting it up with you a lot.
Yep.
Like, explaining certain things and seems very interested in you. But you guys arrive in the throne room, and there's that individual sitting at the desk, and
I yell out hi.
you yell out hi, and Sergey slaps you in the back of the head. He goes, "Shut up, fool! What is wrong with you?"
Hey, that's not nice.
"Yes, I know. You just shut your mouth.
Hey, come on.
Let me talk, please. Jesus.
We're all friends.
Yes, we are friends, but you need to shut mouth now.
Okay.
I will talk to him, okay?"
Okay, bless you.
So he walks up, and he says, Count Fairheart, if I may have a moment of your time, please." And the Count kind of looks up and he says, "Sergey, my friend, what can I do for you today?" And Sergey goes, "Well, these individuals here, they say they come from tunnels underneath the crater. They said they did not come from Wizard Path, but they are here. I feel like this is something you should know. Also, they have very interesting stories about stuff down there." You can see like he's kind of like searching for the word. Like it's almost like, maybe he doesn't, common isn't his first language, and he's like searching for the word. He goes, the mutants. That is the word, mutants. So then the Electric Count, he kind of like addresses, like he looks at all of you, and he says, "Well, you are friends in my hall if you have entered my city of goodwill. What can I assist you with? You say you have, first of all, entered the city. That is a feat that no one else has been able to accomplish."
Aye, we have. And we did so in an unorthodox way.
As it sounds from Sergey's, well, colorful rendition of your tale.
Yes, it was pretty badass.
I'm sure that you would want these tunnels cleared out.
Yes, well, I was, until just a few moments ago, unaware of their very existence, so perhaps we should take some time and talk about what we will do. You seem like a sturdy sort that has all of the answers. And he's talking to you, Male, and he says, you are the one that was brought by Sergei, yes?
I did.
Well, do any of your friends have anything that may be of interest here? Or perhaps we should retire to the study.
I kind of look at Jericho and I'm like, "Oh, Jericho, if you want to speak to anything with Lord Fairheart, I suggest you do it. I'm sure me." And I look at Sergey and I'm like, "Me and the big fucker over here, we got some things to talk about. Lord Fairheart
You
himself."
look at Sergei, and he's like slipping his flask back into his belt. When he gets dressed, he kind of jumps a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, yes, we will have conversation. The talking will happen."
So yeah, that's what I say.
I have a question.
I just
Yes.
like go wide-eyed as he went and turned my head towards Raka as he ask a question.
Why is the ground hot?
Well, my friend, that is something that I would like to know as well. I'm hoping, perhaps, with the count of you all, that we may devise a plan to address this particular issue. It does plague us so. Perhaps I should not use that word, since the common rabble are saying that it may be a plague, when we know it is not. Something is. Perhaps it is just a bad year, but I would like to rather be safe than sorry.
Okay. Rise be with you.
Yes, I think we should probably share all the information we've got as quickly as possible.
Okay. So, you guys can have a quick, recap, right? So, you guys basically run down the whole thing in a very short, brief manner.
Lava, salamanders.
Yeah, case
I'm
goes
in
from
charge.
concern. Yes, Rock.
I do all the gesticulations and the hand movements.
Yes. Do you charades the creatures that you fought?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sergey occasionally will just grab you by your shoulder and yank you down because it's not up to him. It goes. No. This seems very eerily similar to how Madame LaRoche would tell you no.
Who would? Sergey?
Yeah.
Well, he's not Madame LaRoche.
He is not Madame LaRoche. So yeah, you guys do a quick
Therefore,
breakdown
has
of
no
everything going
authority.
on. And yeah, that takes probably about an hour or so of in-game time. So then, you guys go to after you've got all your tales, and he's brought in Lord Fairheart has brought in or Count Fairheart, I guess technically, has brought in a retainer to start writing things down, everything that you say, and doing pictures. So you guys are helping with that or whatever. And eventually, Lord Fairheart says, "Well, my friends, the hour grows late, and your tales have tired me. Perhaps we should pick this up at another time."
Sounds coolio, Papacito.
Wait, are we not going to plan some kind of action at this point?
Well, the information is one thing. Planning action is another. We'll have to muster forces and to search for the entrances of these tunnels, and there's a lot of work to do.
Mel simply nods and he kind of looks at Sergey.
I have another question.
Okay.
Do you guys know what the Knights of the Stag are doing?
So Count Fairheart, he kind of looks, and he laughs a little bit. He's like, "Those righteous individuals. They believe us to be plagued, to be quarantined, due to the incidents that have been occurring, the heat in the lands and the lack of growth. But we're working on it diplomatically. We would not like to increase tensions. as it were. A fight between us and the Knights of the Stag would be bloody and not solve anyone's problems.
Well, I mean, might solve the blockade problem, but beyond that, I
We
can't.
have supplies enough to last us for quite a few months. Perhaps if we take care of this, whatever may be causing this, it will, well, work out for itself.
I have to admit, I've met some of the Knights of the Stag. I'm not sure they're going to be open to things like reasonable decisions.
Yes, well,
Yeah, that sucked.
if they are not reasonable, then we will kill them all.
I like the way you think, sir.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with the way you think, but it's decisive, I'll give you that. So,
Reyes with you.
what, do we just... Sorry, you can't see the look that I'm giving Raka right now, but you can imagine it.
Yep. Just fucking really.
So, what, do we just hang around in town until you're ready to call on us?
Well, there are many things to do. I could perhaps give you room and board. Where are you staying?
We are staying with Madame LaRoche.
Yeah. The Count's face briefly turns a shade of pink, and then immediately goes back to normal. And he says, "Oh, well, I would not wish to take patrons from such a noble woman."
Yeah, she's awesome.
So
She still won't arm wrestle me, though.
out of curiosity, is there something about her background that everyone else knows and we don't? She's got quite a reputation, and I can see how she maintains it, but she's a bit of an odd character.
Sergey and the Count look at each other, and then they look back at you, and Sergey goes, "Have you seen the woman?"
Yes, yes, I have.
She's very beautiful. Envy of all men. They all want to, what is the word?
Fuck.
Sex with her.
Right, right.
Yes, Raya's with you on that.
Did this... I mean, I know I was there the whole time. I saw it happen, but I still feel like you should have required some more extensive scriptural education before they just set you loose on us like this.
Raya's will is mysterious. Don't question her.
This is gonna get old fast. Okay.
Older than selling gems, because
Sorry, what?
I said older than selling gems.
I did enjoy that as a battle cry, so it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
I'ma fuck you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Can you get him some more gems?
Anywho.
So yeah. So you guys are dismissed. But Sergey grabs you, Mail, and he says, "Hey, would you like a nightcap, Mail? There's some things we need to talk about."
Mel nods.
Okay. We meet at the hall. We get drunk and talk about things.
Yep.
Good. I like drunk. Drunk is better than me.
Yeah, so like Mel kind of smiles. Is like, it's the way to go, laddie. Then they go off.
Absolutely. So the rest of you head to the back to the tavern, back to what was it? The Leaping Cauldron or
Leaping Goblet.
Leaping Goblet. That's what it was. You guys head back to Leaping Goblet. You get in there. It's a little bit busier than it was last night. People apparently have heard of a great minstrel that is coming to town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you seem to have drawn a crowd, Jericho.
It's the cross I have to bear.
It is indeed. So you guys get there, and let's see, who would be more noticeable? Probably. Well, no, no. I think Milo actually. Milo, you didn't say much during that thing, but you you had like some of the arcane insights into what was going
Yeah.
on. So, Milo, you're sitting at the bar, and Raka's trying to get Madame LaRoche to arm wrestle her, and arm wrestle him, and she's saying no again. Jericho is playing for everyone. Dutch and Marcus are happily drinking in the corner. Mail is not there, and a figure approaches you. He's got his hood up. He looks older, kind of bent over as he's walking, and he walks over and he says, "Excuse me, were you at the palace today?"
Yes, I was. Can I ask who I'm speaking to?
I would prefer if I didn't give you my name. My job is quite sensitive. But you say that there is a way to get out of Talabheim, yes?
There are difficult ways.
So he says, yes, but it is possible, yes?
If you are unafraid of certain beasts and
Well,
things alike.
It's not for me. It's for my vassal. I need to get her away. For a price, would you and your group consider taking her?
My ears perk. Am I able to hear this?
He's trying to keep it pretty quiet, so if you are fucking with Madame LaRoche, probably not.
Okay.
Well, that's not something that I can just decide for the entire group. Would we be able to contact you further about this proposition?
He says, well, yeah, I guess. If you, I guess, do you know Leoyak?
Do I know Newark?
So Leoyak is the name of the elf that was given to you in the note by Jebedo.
Oh. Yes, his name has come up.
Have you met him? You said you were at the palace today. Did you see him? He was in the courtyard, I think.
Yes, we have indeed.
You can contact him. He will know how to arrange a thing. The meetings, I mean.
Well, then thank you. I shall discuss it with the rest of my group, and we shall take action as we see fit.
Alright, cool. Man, I can't follow that.
Who?
Saying Madame LaRoche.
Oh. I was talking about the person that he once escorted.
Oh,
The vassal?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so
I
wait,
mean,
this
might not be. I mean, I don't know. That's up for you to decide. So anyway,
is this
so Milo,
mic actually working?
Yes, it is. We can hear you.
Good or bad?
It's pretty good, actually. Milo, do you gather up the party at some point?
Yeah, I'd certainly. Right. bring forward this proposition.
Cool. So what do the rest of you do with that information?
Raya would definitely want me to do this.
So wait, you were just approached by a stranger who wants us to sneak somebody out of town?
Yes, basically. I mean, you've seen the situation here. Nobody's getting in or out, so it's unsurprising that we would immediately get asked with a smuggling contract.
That's sort of fair. I'm just curious who needs to get out of town so urgently, and why.
Well,
And
that
I'm
is-
all for talking to that elf that Jebedo mentioned.
Yeah, I think that it's the revelation to you guys as well that the elf that Jebedo mentioned that may have information on Melchior's tower is actually the same guy who you saw in the courtyard earlier.
Like, it was covered in bangles and stuff.
Oh yeah, no. He looked like he was wearing more than you guys own.
Hey, are you sure about that? I have some bling now.
Yeah,
He's got-
I'm absolutely.
Yeah, no,
positive.
we should absolutely talk to that guy about a variety of things.
That's right. For instance, his sword.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you guys notice Mail does not come back that night while you guys are playing. So you guys in the morning, do you head off to the palace?
Yeah.
I guess before you guys left, you guys probably would have been told that like, hey, you guys can kind of show up and you're kind of on the short list now to get in because you brought us this information and we're very thankful for it and we're coordinating with you guys to help us out with this. So.
Let's do this.
So you guys get over there. When you guys get in the courtyard, you do see the elf. He is sitting under a tree, and he's got his longsword on his lap, and he's just slowly bringing a sharpened stone over it. So it's that distinct sound of shh.
I would also like to mention I'm not wearing the robes anymore.
Too restricting?
I walk up and say, hi!
Maybe let somebody else try the approach on this one. Someone with a sense of subtlety.
Alright, I'm good at that too. I learned from Raya.
Also not true.
I walked up and say, hello there.
So do you say anything like in between that, Jericho?
Yeah. Sorry, what was the name of the person who...
name
did
is-
the person who
his
approached
name
us about this give us a
Oh.
name?
You don't have that name.
We were just told to talk to this guy about
And his name is Leoiak.
Leoiak.
Yep, Galantara.
Are you Leo Rec Galantalia?
What do you say, Jericho?
I'll approach him, greet him in Elvish, and
Oh yeah, can I do what I did in Elvish too?
maybe in few
What do you say, Jericho?
say that we were told to talk to. Well, several people have told us to come see him about a variety of urgent matters. I'll mention, I think, Jebedo.
So
Yeah.
he looks up at you and he goes, huh, what? What do you people want again?
Well, I want to see that sword.
He goes,
No, phrasing, Raka, phrasing.
and he says it, he actually talks to you back in common, even though you spoke to him in Elvish.
Yeah, fine.
He's like, hey, you can stop with all that flowery talk. I don't care about that.
Cool, can I see your sword?
Flowery.
No.
Oh,
If you
But it
see my
looks so-
sword, you'll probably die.
okay.
Flowery. It's
But it
perfectly
looks so
fine.
interesting.
Barfator is a very interesting sword.
Can I see it as long as I promise not to unsheath it?
No. The only time Barfator leaves my side or becomes unsheathed is if I'm going to kill you with it.
Raka, hands in pockets.
Yeah.
Look, we have our own questions about Melchior's tower that we were told you could answer,
I know the place.
and we were also... Sorry?
I know the place.
Fantastic.
It moves.
And we were also... Well, that complicates matters a bit.
Yeah, probably. If you want to find it, which is a stupid thing to do anyway. But hey, I'm not gonna stop stupid from dying to stupid.
You talk funny.
You think everyone talks funny, Raka. We were also told that you could use some help involving safe transport of an individual.
A vessel?
I don't need help, but I also don't feel like doing the job myself. Plus, with all this bullshit about demons or whatever the fuck is going on underneath the tunnels, I assume that was y'all idiots that brought that up. Yeah, with that going on, man, probably gonna get roped into doing some shit with that. But
What do you?
I know the girl.
Okay.
I could introduce you.
Really?
Probably for the best. No.
Yeah, sure. And he whistles, like he puts his fingers up to his mouth and he whistles really loud.
That was really loud.
You guys just wait. So,
What?
How are you doing today?
What do you act-
trundling like around the courtyard, carrying a longsword in her hand. Dalton, go ahead and describe your character for us.
Sure, not a problem. So, it's the similar figure that you saw sparring with this elven man before. A younger, kind of a mid-20s female, and she looks to be dressed in very militaristic almost. She has a breastplate on. On her back, she's carrying 2 spears and a longbow with a quiver of arrows of sorts. And she has deep blood red hair that goes down towards her back. And she has the longsword and a shield as well strapped to her back. And as she's carrying the longsword, she approaches you. And she's like, "You rang?"
Hey,
Yeah.
lady.
Apparently, these jokers are going to take you out of here at some point. So, I guess you're out of my hair. Thank God.
You see a small smile come to her face, but her eyes are screaming of ecstatic joy. and she looks at Raka first, and she's like, "Huh, Goliath, huh?"
How could you tell?
Okay, Raka, you're like 11 feet tall. It's not as hard as you seem to think it is.
But I haven't even completed my facial tats yet.
So, I think that that's probably a good place for us to stop for the night.
Yay.
And I have to mention, Dalton, did you tell anybody you were making a new character?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I am super surprised.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to play a new character for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Really,
So
why?
me and Jordan
Oh,
have
wow.
been talking about making this character for a while, and I didn't mention to any of you because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Yep, that was a surprise.
It was a
Wow.
surprise.
So
Okay.
is Mel going to just become an NPC or die horribly?
Well,
I guess that depends
Jordan has full reins on that. Whether he dies is up to him, but for now it will be an NPC, I'm sure.
I am very surprised. Did you not
Yep.
like your character?
It wasn't how I intended when I made the character. It was turning into something else, and there were complications with the character that didn't roll well.
Oh,
So
okay. Are you at least satisfied so far with this one?
I've only spoken 2 lines for this character, so I have no full say yet. But
I think she'll fit.
It'd be good.
I'm surprised she knew I was a Goliath.
yeah, she seems pretty resourceful, and
Yeah.
she also seems like a hardened warrior as well.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. Back in game real quick.
Yes.
So I think that where we really end off is Leoyak. He looks at you and he goes, "Well, who's gonna tell your father?" And then he kind of like laughs. He's like, "That old Fleabag count can't take a joke. I guess I'll do it after you're gone."
She smiles and simply nods. Thank you.
So that's where you guys find out she's the daughter of the count.
Awesome.
I have not
Oh,
put that
wow.
together.
Okay.
So that is the type of character I'm going to be playing for upcoming sessions. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. I'm sure I will.
Curious what she's gonna be like.
Me too.
Oh, I have an idea of sorts. So, should be fun. But yeah, so we end the session there.
So you guys
Did
made it
any
out
of
of
the
the
other
caves.
guys?
I'm gonna do some
Yeah.
experience. For
Ooh,
Yeah.
you guys made it out of the
experience.
caves.
Oh, thank God.
You guys get a buttload of experience for that. You made a couple new contacts, so we're gonna add some XP for that for sure.
Whoop.
I bonded with Madame LaRoche.
I'm not so sure about that one.
I don't think she could live without me
I
now.
think that's a new contact that we're going to have.
She can't live without me.
So I think that everyone in the group.
I also
Sorry, Zach,
bonded
you
with
don't
the
get
god.
experience. Male, Aka, Milo, Jericho, you all get
Yes.
633 experience. And Male, put that on Male's character sheet, and then
Yes. 633.
and then hold on a second.
Yeah, that's fine. Because that means it's to level 5.
Did anybody level up?
What the hell?
What's level 5? 6,500?
Yep,
Yeah.
6,500.
Yep.
Finally, level 5.
Yay!
I am at 8,300.
You're a monster.
Eventually, it's just going to be that I'm at level 10 while you guys are at level 8.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the gap is gonna narrow.
It'll never narrow because I'll never miss.
It's not like I chose to.
Oh, man.
Cool.
That was a good session.
Yes, indeed.
Mm.
I enjoyed it.
Yep,
Not
so-
much combat. Oh, actually, no, I added that in. Okay, cool. For some reason, I thought I forgot to add the combat in with the jellies, but you guys totally got that XP.
Mm.
Cool. So, thanks for showing up, those of you that did. Will, not Milo, Zetch, go fuck yourself, and you know why.
Thanks.
Damn
Make
it,
sure you guys rag on Brian for missing a good session. Fuck that guy too.
Mm.
No, I'm just playing. I love you all.
Yeah, I became a follower of Rhea.
So, and I've become a new character.
Yes, indeed.
Exciting.
And I think that
Yeah.
we'll see everybody next week.
So you know what I missed that I've only just noticed now?